Hey everybody, Sunny here. Before we get to the show, I just want to remind you all that Casagrande Chats is now on YouTube. So go over to YouTube and search for Casagrande Chats, and you'll find every episode of Casagrande Chats on YouTube. So for those of you who have requested the show to be on YouTube, every episode is up there on YouTube now. I will try to update every episode of Casagrande Chats on YouTube as much as I can when they come out. So again, go to YouTube, search Casagrande Chats, and you'll find every episode of my show on YouTube. And let me remind you all about my Patreon page. So go to patreon.com/CasaGrandeChats. It's where you could go and support the show. I have 3 tiers you can sign up for my Patreon. The first tier is the Radhiya tier, which is $1. The Sid tier is $5, and the Familiar tier is $10. You can get special perks by being a Patreon member, including getting the show early, suggesting episode ideas to me, and even appearing on the show in the future. So if you want to support my show, go over to patreon.com/CasaGrandeChats. So now I have some new people I'm going to name out who are supporting my show on Patreon, so I'll name them right now, which is Underrated Hero, Ren Ticket Bond, Omid Asren, Nate Navadid, and Egan 1995. And I know I pronounced their names incorrectly, but thank you guys again for supporting the show. And now on with the show. Hello everybody, and welcome to Casagrande Chats, a podcast dedicated to the Loud House spin-off series, the Casagrandes. And I'm your host, Sunny, and welcome to episode 18 of Casagrande Chats. And before we get started with the show, I know that during this time, it is a very dark time for many of us because of a certain situation going on, i.e. the coronavirus. So I wanted to say out here for those of you who are listening to my show right now, just make sure you're staying healthy, wash your hands, stay clean. I know it's a very rough time for many of us out here, trying to stay healthy and stay away from the coronavirus. So I just want to make sure that all of you are staying healthy and staying safe as we're going through this situation. I know we're all going to get through it together. So again, make sure wash your hands, stay healthy, and let's get on to the real news. So for this episode of Casagrande Chats, I'm going to be doing a solo show because I don't have a guest for this week. And for this week, there's not going to be a lot of news to cover for the Loud House and the Casagrandes because for March, it is the hiatus month. We only had 2 episodes premiere this week of the Casagrandes, and the Loud House, no new episodes, and again, no new episodes of the Casagrandes, so we don't know if we're getting any new episodes coming out for next week, or even in April. We don't know that far in advance yet, but so we're going to get to talking about some of the news that came out for the Loud House and the Casagrandes, and talking about the new episodes that came out of the Casagrandes, which are V.I.Peeved and Señor Class. So with that being said, let's get into some Casa news!
Hey, it's me, Ronnie. If you like the Louds, come meet my family. My mom, my brother, abuelo, abuela, Tío Carlos, Tia Frida, my cousins Carlota, CJ, Carl, and Carlitos, and our pets Sergio and Lalo. We are the Casagrandes.
So again, like I said, this is going to be a very short news week as there isn't a lot of news to cover, but it's really big news though, despite it being a short news week for this week. So the first thing we're going to talk about with news is that there is now an official Loud House and Casagrande YouTube channel! So we heard about this, I think last week or this week, I can't remember what it was. I saw the news on Twitter that the Loud House and the Casagrandes were getting an official YouTube page. And so for last week, we didn't get a Lincoln and Roddy vlog, and this week we also did not get one this Saturday. I don't know if they're going to have one Sunday as they did the last time when they premiered the big announcement. I don't know if they're still doing the vlogs, they're putting them on hiatus because the show's on hiatus. I have no idea, but so we did find out that they are pushing all the vlogs and all the Loud House and Casagrande content from the Nickelodeon page onto the Loud House and Casagrande YouTube page. So it's now called the Loud Casa YouTube page. So when you search for the Loud House of the Casagrandes, it'll be under Loud Casa. So now the YouTube page is public and it's all set, and it's really nice. Like, I love the little icon of Lincoln and Roddy where they have them kind of like peeking out from the icon together. Like Roddy on the top, Lincoln's on the bottom. Is so cute. And the banner I love. Like, they had the one for the KCAs, but of course for the coronavirus they did postpone the KCAs, so they had to change it to the one they have now, which is like Roddy and running like at the same time, and they say the Loud House, the Casagrandes, 2 families, 1 roof. I think it's really cool that they decided to put the Loud House and the Casagrandes together in one YouTube page. Because what's strange about the Instagram, for example, the Loud House and the Casagrandes are separate on Instagram. They both have separate Instagram pages, which is weird. Why wouldn't they combine them? I mean, they used to be combined before the spin-off show was made, but they're separate. Whereas the YouTube page is not separate, so they're both together, which I think is for the better, because, you know, if they're going to continue with the vlogs, which I hope they are, I hope they didn't cancel them after the big announcement, because for the channel trailer, which you see the channel trailer for the Loud House and the Casagrande YouTube page, they talk about them linking Roddy and saying, we have some big news, like really, really big news. And I think that's what they were supposed to say in the big announcement vlog from last time, was talking about the YouTube channel, but of course they couldn't talk about it because it wasn't ready yet. Whereas here they're like, yes, we finally have our own YouTube channel, we're both sharing it, and we'll have like all this content on here. It's great. And the best thing about it is that even though we didn't know about it, they had moved all the Loud House and Casagrande related videos onto this channel before we even knew it. Like, I saw somebody say that this channel's been up since January, and they had moved all of the YouTube videos onto this page. We just didn't know it. So most of the videos are up there. 2 of the vlogs are missing, though. Vlog 12 and 13 are missing from the YouTube page. I don't know why they still haven't uploaded them on here. I guess because they're still new, they haven't decided to push them here. But yeah, they only have up to Vlog 11. But they did upload 5 new YouTube, not 5, 4 actually. Well, they uploaded a new one today for Abuela's Moments, which is 5. But they uploaded 4 new videos on the day that they launched the channel, which obviously the channel trailer with Radhiya talking about, this is our channel, and we're gonna, have great moments and things like that. So just having them be like, oh, we're so excited. And then they also had the Loud House in different languages video, which I think was about the intro. I didn't really watch it all the way through, but they have that video. Then they have the Casagrande remix theme song, which they kind of do random stuff with the theme song. They play it backwards, they slow it down, things like that. And then they did a Lincoln and Roddy relationship/friendship timeline, because when they uploaded it, the thumbnail had said relationship timeline and had little hearts and like things like that. Then they switched it to friendship timeline, which is so weird because like they first uploaded as relationship, then they switched it to friendship. And I even had the thumbnail, like I took a screenshot of it, and then I saw them change it because I went to go watch it again. And I'm like, guys, we already know you're shipping Lincoln and Roddy in. Like, you literally showed it here. You can't just go back and change it. Like, okay, no, we can't let them know that they're the end game. Oh, we gotta change the thumbnail. Okay, good. No, I love that because like I went through the video obviously, and what I loved about the timeline was they got everything pretty much correct. I mean, the one thing they didn't talk about was Heavy Metal and Save the Date, which Save the Date was the first time they met, but they talked about their best moments as a friendship, which I think is great because, after Save the Date is when they became really good friends and their relationship has developed. They talk about April Fool's Rules, Dance Dance, Shell Shock, Relative Chaos, and then they moved into Horoscope, which, I was kind of upset they skipped through, like, Spies Who Love Me and oh, no, they talked about Last Thanksgiving. I forgot. They mentioned Last Thanksgiving, which was great. I'm glad they mentioned that too. Best moment. But, yeah, so they went into Horoscope, which I really liked the way they did set this whole thing up and really did the perfect timeline. It's almost like they listened to my podcast and they heard what I said in that entire Lincoln and Roddy and, the Lincoln and Roddy story episode 10 I did, yeah, of that, where I talked about their entire relationship and basically put it in a video. It's like I made this video for Nickelodeon. It's exactly what I would have done. I would have put the punk loser moment there. I would have put Horoscope at the end. Because I just love the quote at the end of this video where they say, like, Lincoln and Roddy, and even though they live far away, they'll always be friends and they'll always have each other's backs. Like, it's just great to see that they still agree that even though Lincoln and Roddy are far away, they're still close and they're still friends and they'll still have a great relationship. And then they said, oh, what does the future hold for these two? I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then they cut the Horoscope at the end, which I think is which is great to wrap that whole thing up. up because they're basically saying, yeah, guys, this is going to be the Endgame ship. I mean, they're saying that we believe it's the Endgame ship. They believe it's the Endgame ship, but they don't know. Like, they're like Rose at the end of Horoscope, where it's like, you know, the universe works in mysterious ways. So we don't know what's going to happen, but obviously since they made this entire, like, timeline about them, even though I know it's like they're the protagonists of their two main shows, which are The Loudest and Casagrandes, it's like they made this entire video about their relationship. I know it's going to be the endgame. We all know it's going to be the endgame, so we'll see what happens, but I thought that was great. But then they also uploaded Abuela's most hilarious moments today, so that was kind of nice to get that about Abuela. So it's great that they have their own YouTube channel now, so they can upload all kinds of videos, all kinds of things they want to do on here, versus the Nickelodeon page, where they did upload a Casagrande quiz on the Nickelodeon page, not on the Loud House of Casagrande page. So I guess Nickelodeon is still gonna upload on their regular page, but anything that's like really like just true Loud House Casagrandes they'll keep on this page. So again, very exciting. We have our own YouTube page now, so everything will be on here of Loud House of Casagrandes, so it doesn't get mixed up with the official Nickelodeon YouTube page, and they can upload whatever they want to do, you know? Like, I'm just really happy they did a Lincoln and Roddy friendship relationship timeline. Like, I kind of was hoping they were going to do that, because they've been doing that with a bunch of the ships. So I'm glad that they did one for these two, and seeing like they really just summed up the relationship perfectly and like exactly what I would have done. Again, it's like they tailor-made that video for me. And again, just ending it with that quote and then going to horoscope at the end was just like the perfect way to wrap that whole thing up. So again, foreshadowing, love it. So again, go over to Loud Casa, which is the YouTube page, and subscribe to the Loud House of Casagrande YouTube page if you haven't already. So make sure to check it out. And then the next news item for this week is about the comics. So I didn't talk about this last time because I completely forgot about it on the last episode, which is the cover for the Loud House comic Who's the Loudest came out a couple weeks ago, and that cover is gorgeous. I love that. It's one of the best covers of the graphic novels, where it has Lincoln in the front and all the sisters are kind of being well loud. And I think that's the graphic novel number 11, I think. I'm not sure I don't know if it's 9 or 10, I can't remember. I think 9 is Ultimate Hangout, and then there's also the Lincoln Loud one, just a separate one about him. There's this one, and then there's also the one we're going to talk about later. So I don't know when that one's coming out, but the cover looks nice. We don't know anything about that comic yet, Who's the Loudest, but I think it's just going to be focused on the Loud family. So again, that cover is really nice with all the family members together, the Loud siblings mostly on that cover. So I think it's one of the best covers of the graphic novels. But then let's jump over to the news that came out recently, which is the Loud House Winter Special comic. So we've known about this one for a while, that they were going to do a Loud House Winter Special comic, but we didn't know anything about it. But then the news broke from Ryan on Twitter that the Casagrandes are actually going to be in this comic. And I saw the news first, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes! Because you know me, huge Casagrande fan. If they're in anything, I'm so excited for it. Of course, they're going to be also in the anniversary comic that's coming out May 2nd. So that'll be exciting too. But to know that they're in this winter one, I'm so excited. But then Paper Cuts posted the cover of the winter special, and oh my gosh, I already said the Who's the Loudest cover is gorgeous. This one is fantastic. It blows all the covers out of the way. Like, I'm sorry, like this cover is amazing because it shows you that, of course, this is going to be a Loud House and Casagrande crossover comic. They're all going to be together in this comic, having interaction, and it's going to be great. And what I love about it, of course, you see Bobby and Lori in the back. You know, Bobby and Lori just being cutesy, being a cute couple and stuff in the back. And then you see Lincoln and Radhiya up in the center, right in the center of the comic. And then you see, like, Radhiya is on Lincoln's sled, which is Big Red, and he's like, no, Radhiya, wait! No, be careful with Big Red and stuff. And she has a brand new winter outfit, because the only time we ever saw Roddy with a winter outfit was that one official fan art they did with Roddy back in 2019, where she had like the little puffy like winter coat. She has that kind of now. She still has the puffy hood, but her outfit's more different now. Now she still has her purple hoodie kind of thing. She has gloves that are yellow, and she has like red pants, and the ski goggles. I love the ski goggles. That really is just something that Roddy Ann would wear. I think that's perfect to her personality. I just love that. I love that they kind of gave her a new look. And of course all the Casagrandes now have winter outfits. I think the one that Carlos is wearing, it's the same one he wore in stress tests when he was helping Bobby, study for his tests. He kind of made him sit in the cold. That's the same outfit he wore in that episode. I think it's great continuity with that. But yeah, now I'm going to see the Casagrandes in winter outfits, and we're going to get all these interactions, of course, and then we're going to get Lobby and Roddy Kid. Yes! Of course, I want that ship validation, and I've been wanting this for so long to get the Louds and the Casagrandes in winter outfits. I don't know if they're celebrating Christmas together. It looks like that from what I could tell in the background, they have like little strings of lights, so maybe they're celebrating Christmas together. I have no idea. Or it's just like a snow day, they all go to hang out together for the day. I have no idea. Maybe Lori and Bobby decide they should like spend the night together in when they're snowed out or something. I don't know, but I'm like so excited for this, but I'm so upset we have to wait till October for this comic. But already this is the most promising comic so far. Like all of them have looked fine. Like Ultimate Hangout looks nice, but that got delayed till May. That kind of stinks because that was supposed to come out in April, and that got pushed out back to May, which is the longest a comic's ever been delayed. I'm like, usually the comics are delayed like a couple weeks after, because like I remember Lula Casa Loud was supposed to come out like the first week of November, but got pushed back to the end. Like Ultimate Hangout got pushed a whole month. That's like crazy. I never thought they would do that with a comic, but that's kind of sad. But yeah, but this one I think is going to be probably the most amazing comic ever. Like, I love Living Casa Loud. That's still my favorite comic of all of them. But after seeing this and the potential it has to be the greatest crossover ever, because, Last Thanksgiving is one of my favorite episodes of all time, but to get a whole comic about them, like, during the winter time and Christmas and spending the holidays together, and of course getting Lobby and getting Roddy Kid, because come on, like, we can't just not get those ships, man. You see the Lobby in the back there, and you see, like, Roddy in the front. We're getting comics about them, and we're getting all that interaction. I'm so excited, but I won't be as hyped until we get those previews, which probably won't be till September. So, but when it comes, it'll be very, very exciting. So again, Loud House Winter Special is going to be a Loud House of the Casagrande crossover comic, and I am so excited for what kind of things they'll do in this comic, the interactions they'll have, the comics they'll have, whatever it's gonna be. I'm so excited. I hope we do get to see like Roddy and interact with the other Louds, like the sisters or Lincoln's parents and Lincoln with the other Casagrandes, but of course we want to see that ship validation, of course. So from what I could tell, we are getting that ship validation, but I don't want to be greedy because people from the crew might be listening. So guys, whatever's in this comic, I'm so excited. Besides bias, like I'm really excited. But just seeing that cover, I'm like so excited. Like, thank you for blessing us on this week with this amazing cover, like, and just giving us so much hype for another Loud House and Casagrande crossover. And then in other news, we are getting the second volume for season 2 of the Loud House on DVD. The cover just got released this week, and I do have all the DVDs of the Loud House. I have all the Loud House on DVD. My favorite cover, of course, being the Relative Chaos cover from season 2, because it has Roddy Ann on it, so I love when my girl gets validated. But for this one, sadly, she's not on this cover. Most of the characters that were on the season 2 volume 1 cover are on this one, with some exceptions. Lori isn't on here, but Bobby is. So you see like the little picture of Bobby and like the little kissy faces on there. So oh Lori. And I love Lola's like picture being like shattered. I think that's a great little detail there. That just says something about Lola. And then you see Lynn and Lenny taking a picture together, like she's doing little bunny ears. I think that's really adorable. Then you just see Lincoln there just smiling, and Lily like showing off her artistic skills. I think it's really cute. Like, I love the covers of the DVDs. They're really nice. And I think this one is absolutely beautiful. Like, again, like, I think the Relative Chaos one is so much better, but again, that's biased, but I think this one is really nice. So, whenever this comes out, I don't actually know when this comes out. It might be May or June, like June. It might be May or June, I don't remember. I don't know if they announced the date yet, but as of right now, we have the cover, and whenever it comes out, it might be May or June, like the last time the first volume of season 2 came out. I will be out to buy it and see, if the DVD is nice and stuff. Because, of course, I haven't really played the DVDs. I have them, but I haven't really played. I don't know if they're great quality or not. I'm sure they are, especially if I haven't played them, I haven't tested them out because, like, my DVD players don't really work in my house, so, I just have them for collection. But if I ever want to actually try them out and watch the episodes again from season 1 or even season 2 on my own, I guess I will try them out again. So yeah, make sure you buy the second volume of season 2 when it comes out, whenever that may be. Again, might be May or June. And then other news, we are getting some re-releases of the chapter books that came out a couple years ago. I think it was last year or the year before. Candy Rainy 7D posted about this, where they're Scholastic reissue covers. So basically they have the same covers and the same names as the chapter books, which are Who Goes There, Campaign Chaos, and the other one, which I think is Arcane Bus, yeah. And then we're also going to see if we're going to find out about the Ultimate Party. That's the one that's coming out in October. So that's coming out at the same time as the Winter comic. We don't know about the Ultimate Party cover. We know about what the story's gonna be about Lincoln throwing the wedding anniversary party for his parents, but we haven't seen the cover yet. So whenever that comes out, I will October. When that comes out, I will definitely buy that and probably do a review of Ultimate Party. The chapter books again are really nice. They're not great. Like, some of them I liked and some of them I didn't. Like, I still think Arcane and Bust is the strongest one. The other ones, not so much, but, they're still nice to have as a collection. And I think Ultimate Party will be great just to see, Lincoln and his sister throwing an anniversary party. So, again, when those get re-released and then the new one comes out, make sure you purchase them and support the merch coming out. And then finally, our last piece of news, which is a little bit sad of news, is that this week was the last week for the Loud House voice actors to record their lines for new episodes because all of the animation studios, including Nickelodeon, are shutting down because of the coronavirus. So this week, Jessica, who plays Lynn, posted on her Instagram story about her being by herself in the studio recording a new episode. And there was a little picture, a sneak peek of what the episode was going to be about. It said Operation Win, which is probably going to be a Lynn episode. And Cree Summer posted a bunch of pictures with her, with Jessica, and also with Lana and Lynn's voice actor, and Flip's voice actor. So I think it's going to be a Lynn and team episode, with Net Games, which will be very interesting. But it is very sad that the voice actors have to stop recording because of the coronavirus. But we did hear that they are not stopping production on the show or the movie. They're just having the crew work at home, which I think is fine. I'm glad they're not stopping production. It is a little upsetting they have to push all the crew members out because of the coronavirus. But of course, it is good that they're still working on stuff it's good that they're still working on stuff, but that means we might get some stuff delayed, like season 5, season 2 of Casagrandes, and the movie might get delayed. With them still working on production is fine, but with recording the voices, that's a big thing. So you can't really have the voice actors record, and then you just can't release stuff that's not recorded yet. Obviously, there's probably stuff that's already been done in advance for season 5 and season 2 of Casagrandes, but again, we might get some stuff delayed because of this, but again, it's all for the safety of the crew and cast members of the show. So again, I hope the cast and crew, if you're listening out there, are safe and healthy for this coronavirus. I know it's messing a lot of stuff up, but this is for your own safety, of course, and for their own safety. So again, make sure you guys are staying healthy, and hopefully when this whole coronavirus situation is pushed out of the way and it's safe to go outside again, everything will come back to normal. And so, yeah, that was all the recent news that came out this week. There hasn't really been anything big. There hasn't been no new episodes announced for the Loud House or the Casagrandes. And I say that now, and then I post the podcast, and tomorrow we get a description for a Loud House episode or a Casagrande episode. Because that happens. Last week, I was no, there's no new episodes announced. And then, what I knew about was Seor Class the last time I recorded this. And then I posted my podcast, and V.I.Peeved description came out. So that's gonna happen to me again, where like I post this and then we get the new episode descriptions. I'm like, oh come on, like you couldn't wait for me to actually record my show, or just wait a long time before I record it. So yeah, so again, that was all the recent news that came out. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do 2 episode reviews of the new Casagrande episodes that came out today, which are V.I.Peeved and Señor Class, when we come back.
When I was down, you picked me up, you helped me out. When I was stuck, sometimes we fight. We have trials and tribulations, but if we both just settle down and find a little common ground, I know our love will last for generations. It's obvious to see that you're always there for me, and you know I'm there for you, 'cause that's just what we do. I'll be there for you, 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 yeah.
OMG, this is way better than an interview!
And we are back to talk about the new Casagrande episodes that came out today, which are V.I.Peeved and Señor Class. So let's start with V.I.Peeved. V.I.Peeved is the episode where Claudette gets noticed by a famous singer and gets to do her makeup for her and tries to stop her family from embarrassing her in front of the celebrity. So I was really excited for this episode because it is the first Carlota focus episode in the Casagrandes, and I feel like she is one of the cast members of the Casagrandes that hasn't gotten a lot of focus in the show. And to finally get a focus episode of Carlota is something I think a lot of us, including Carlota fans, have been waiting for. And I really liked this episode. I thought it was a great episode for her first focus episode. And the real, like, true shining moments of this episode was with the family. Like, I think the funniest parts of this episode was with the family and how, like, goofy they were, you know, messing around with stuff backstage, and Carlota trying to do, you know, the pop star Elisa's makeup and stuff, and trying to stop her family from messing up stuff and being embarrassed in front of her and such. Like, there was some really just great little moments in this episode, like Maria's little, like, punk side to her. So apparently Maria is also a rebel. Like, she used to sneak out to go to concerts and such. Like, that one guy who was like the band roadie noticed her, and she did like the little stage dive at the end. Like, I made this headcanon on Twitter where I said I think Radhiya gets her spunky personality from Maria, because like the more we know about Maria, the more I could tell that she acts a lot like Radhiya, and I can tell that Radhiya gets a lot from her. And after like seeing Arturo in the show, I think Bobby gets a lot from Arturo. So now I'm like, yeah, definitely Radhiya is a lot more like Maria, where, you know, Maria is very like, she has a bad side to her, you know. And I loved when she said, oh, I used to sneak out for concerts, and Rosa just goes, you're grounded. I love how, like, you know, even though they're grown adults, they still act like kids, what I think is really great. I love this little, like, detailed moment that Roddy was next to CJ the whole episode. Like, they were together, like, the whole time. Even though they really didn't interact in the episode, they were mostly standing next to each other, which I thought was really interesting. Because when we talk about the Señor Class episode, Roddy and Carl seem to be like paired up a lot in episodes lately, and Our in the Family is still one of the best episodes of the Casagrandes. So to see that Roddy and CJ, despite really not interacting this episode, like standing next to each other and still being close, and then like even like hugging at the end of the episode with the song, it's really great that they're still very close in terms of family members. So it was nice to see them together, even if they're not like a focus of this episode. And also like Frida putting on the little like jumpsuit, like Frida just like like working that suit, and then Maria wearing that outfit, how like the shoes that Roddy had wore that one episode, like Operation Dad, and those weird big shoes. They keep bringing those back. Like, I think it's so funny to keep bringing back those shoes. And like, you know, I think it was just really funny what the family was doing. But for Claudette, like Carlota being the main focus, like, I feel like she wasn't like they didn't really utilize her as much as the main focus, but I'm glad she finally got a lot to do in this episode, and seeing that, like, you know, she really didn't want to be embarrassed in front of her family because she thinks they're very embarrassing, but she still loves them anyway, because at the end she was like, I don't want you guys to go away, because she was like telling like the crew member to like give them a tour to push them away so she can do Elisa's makeup. But then she was like, no, I didn't want you to push them away, and then she apologized at the end by saying, I still love you guys and such, and they know that, and then she, like, you know, said it in front of everybody on stage, so that was great. And of course, Elisa is voiced by Brooke, who does the theme song for the Casagrandes, and, you know, she, of course, was the pop star in this episode, and, you know, I really like the design of her character. Like, I love the way they did her hair. Like, they put, like, a little gradient on her hair. I think it's really nice, and I just love the overall design. I love the Bobby's little, like, random, like, celebrity crush on her. Like, I love how he just thought, like, the little, like, cutout of her was her, and then when, like, it broke, he was like, it should have been me! But I loved, you know, Brooke, Elisa, like, singing that little song at the end, you know, I'll be there for you, which is, you know, like, a very simple song. It's not really that, like, you know, fantastic, but it's very simple, it's very cute, represents what the Casagrandes are all about, which is familia. And I loved how, like, you know, she was telling Carlota that I bring my family to every show, and you see their family, like, you see her family in the audience, which I think is really nice contrast to the Casagrandes, where, you know, the Casagrandes wanted to come to support her. I mean, to see Elisa, obviously, but obviously came to support her as well. And again, that little song at the end was great. I hope they release that as a single, like a nice little single, because even though I posted the clip on Twitter, I still would like to see a full release of that song. If there's an extended version or it's just a simple, like, short song. But, you know, Bobby's little, like, I'll be there for you, yeah, at the end, like, yeah, Bobby! Like, I seriously just want, like, an episode where Bobby just sings the whole time. Like, I know we've gotten, like, moments of him singing, like, in Face the Music and stuff, but I really want to see, like, Bobby singing the entire song, because he can sing. Like, just hearing him sing that one line at the end was fantastic. So I thought it was a really good episode. Not really a strong episode, but just a good episode overall for Carlota's character, and a lot of funny moments for the family, and just a very heartwarming episode to see that Carlota, even though she's embarrassed by her family, really does care about her family a lot. And speaking of embarrassing moments, let's move over to the next episode, which is Seor Class. So Seor Class is the episode where Hector enrolls in Roddy and Carl's class. So this episode, I guess, some of the very good meme. Hi, everybody! This is basically extremely goofy movie, like extremely Hector movie. This is basically that setup of that movie where, you know, Hector is the old person going into school, enrolling in school again to try to do school again, because Radhiya does encourage him to do school, because back when he was younger, you know, he tried to go to school, but then he stayed to help with the Mercado when he was younger. And we got to see him and Sergio, which, how old is Sergio? Like, some people have told me that canonically, you know, like, parents can actually live a long time. So Sergio could be, like, 70 years old now, because during that time, I think it took place, like, when Hector was younger, it was in the 60s. Because, like, you know, like, Sergio was, like, wearing, like, that little, like, a peace sign on him. So it was definitely, like, sometime in the 60s. But we don't know how long Sergio's been around. He could have even been around when, like, Hector was a baby. So, you know, he was still a full-grown adult, like, parent during that time. I'm sure he was a baby eventually, like a baby parent. So again, I don't know how old, you know, like, Sergio is, but apparently parents could live a long time. So it's just crazy how, like, he's been around since Hector was a kid. And we got to see little Hector from Face the Music. I was a little worried we weren't going to see, like, a flashback of Hector again in the show, but we saw that. We even saw him as his, like, I guess, like adult version from Power Play in the one part where he's showing the family tree. This episode was basically lore building, the episode. Like, I loved the way they built up a lot of, like, family lore, especially when he was talking about the family tree, where he talked about how one of his relatives actually knew Pancho Villa, which sets up season 2, because apparently in season 2 they're supposed to be looking for Pancho Villa's lost gold. So maybe we might actually get to see that family member, or like a descendant of that family member help them find Pancho Villa's gold. So he even said that, like, one of his ancestors knew that. He even said one of his ancestors was Chinese, which is really cool. So technically Roddy has some kind of, like, has some Chinese in her blood, which I think is really neat, because when they mentioned that, like, Roddy and Sid were like, oh, did you know that? No, I didn't. They kind of fist bump. I'm like, is that, like, Sidani foreshadowing? Because they talked about how, like, their Chinese relative actually, or ancestor, was, like, working on the railroad and stuff. So I guess it was, like, you know, foreshadowing Roddy becoming friends with Sid, and, like, her dad being you know, driving the Glart train, you know. So I don't know, but, like, I was thinking maybe Sidani Endgame, I don't know, you know. I'd be up for that. If there's a Sidani Endgame, sure, why not? I know I'm rooting for Roddykin, but, you know, if if Sidani is the end game, sure, why not? I'd be for it. But anyway, like this episode was very cringy to watch because of Hector embarrassing Roddy in front of her entire family. Like when they show like baby Roddy in, oh my gosh, she was so adorable. Like the little pigtails. Again, character consistency. She had pigtails just like she did when she was younger in Role Model in the flashback. She's always had pigtails. I just wonder when she decided to just have the ponytail when she got older. But I love seeing Radhiya with the pigtails, and again, baby Radhiya having the circle face like Lincoln, and that exact face she made is the exact same face that baby Lincoln made in Antisocial when Senior was showing baby Lincoln on the toilet doing a little toot toot. That's the same thing with Radhiya, where he was talking about her doing a little toot toot dance and embarrassing her, and yeah, like I felt really bad for Radhiya and getting embarrassed by Hector, and even Carl, like poor Carl getting embarrassed with the choo choo chonies, and Carl, like, okay, so he was selling food in school that was like a week old. He's gonna give those kids food poisoning. And, like, okay, so nobody has figured out that he's been selling food to kids in school. Like, even Roddy, like, at, like, the end, like, kind of towards the end, was smiling at him selling food. I'm like, are you okay with this? Is everybody okay with him just selling week-old food, everybody? It's alright, okay? And speaking of that, I love this episode because of the team-up of Roddy and Carl, because again, like, we've seen them in episodes, but mostly, like, kind of, like, bickering and kind of, like, bouncing off each other in some sort of, like, really just rivalry way. Like, where Roddy is kind of, like, suspicious of Carl's schemes. Whereas here, they actually work together in a scheme, which I thought was way better in this because we haven't seen them, like, really teamed up in a great way since Role Model. You know, like, mostly it was because Carl was, like, really happy to follow her around and Roddy was adored with him. This episode, they were actually on the same side with getting Hector out of school, and they also brought back a joke which they made in No Show, where Hector said he was booked for 3 weddings, 4 quinceañeras, and a funeral, which is what Margarita said in No Show, when she told Roddy Ann that she had to do 4 quinceañeras and a funeral in that episode, which I thought was a great callback. Like, the one thing the Casagrande strives for so much in the show is consistency, continuity, and callbacks. They are so good at doing that. Like, I'm so proud of them for doing this because, of course, my one complaint about the Loud House was how they're terrible at doing continuity. Of course, they're doing better now, but it took them 4 seasons to make it right. Whereas Casagrandes are like, we'll bring back whatever we mentioned before, you know? Like, I loved in Monster Cash when they brought back the Haunted Mercado decorations from New Haunts. Like, I love when they did that, or just mentioned something on the side, or connected the episodes together in some way. Like, they bring back some small little things that you wouldn't even remember from certain things like that. And I think that's really cool that they keep that. Character consistency could use a work. I think character consistency depends on the episode, who's writing the episode, and how they're going to treat the characters. Yeah, like, character consistency could use work. But continuity and callbacks, consistency on that with, like, plots and episodes, great. Character consistency, guys, work on that. That's one thing if the crew of the Casagrandes are hearing me for season 2, work on your character consistency. That's one thing, you know. So, with that. But, I really liked the team up of Roddy and Carl. And again, like, you could see that Roddy Ann still has kind of an evil side to her, you know, helping Carl get Hector out of school. Like, she was like, you know, evil lab, malicious kind of thing. She still has that side to her. So again, she's not like, they haven't like fixed her character. She's not like anything like she was before. She still has this mischievous side to her. It could be influenced from Carl, obviously, but, you know, again, you know, she still has these ways, even though she's a little, you know, she's progressing and developing as a character in the spinoff. Her still, like, season 1 self can shine in some sort of way, how. And, you know, I really did like this episode, of course, because Hector wasn't embarrassing them on purpose. You know, Hector's so innocent and sweet. I love that this was the first, like, kind of sort of Hector focused episode in the show, even though it focused on Roddy and Carl. It still was nice to see Hector in a bigger role that he's been in before, and seeing that, like, yeah, he wasn't trying to embarrass them on purpose, you know, he was just trying to fit in and have fun, but of course, like, you know, he really didn't like school because the kids were teasing him and such. But then, of course, at the end, you know, Rosa decided to homeschool, which I think is the best thing, because he wants to stay in the Mercado because Roddy and Carl messed up the orders. Then they realized they kind of had to to stop doing this because, you know, he really wanted to be in school and they messed up the Mercado orders and they really knew they screwed up, so they apologized, which I thought was really great. So I thought this episode overall was really, really strong. Like, I thought it was so much better than V.I.P. Again, even though V.I.P. there was some funny moments, this episode didn't make me laugh per se because I was more like cringing at Hector embarrassing Roddy and Carl. I still thought it was a really good episode, and, you know, even though it says Roddy and Carl's class, like, Hector wasn't in Carl's class, but he was more like just kind of there in the hallway embarrassing him, you know? But again, like, I really enjoyed it, and I think it was a really strong episode overall for Señor Class. So again, those are my reviews of the 2 new Casagrande episodes that came out. And again, we don't know about any new episodes of The Loud House and the Casagrandes that are coming out, or anything that's going on in the hiatus, you know. This is going to be a very long hiatus, so for my show, I will be going on hiatus to take a break for, you know, school coming up, you know, because I have to do online classes because of this coronavirus going around. But, you know, if anything new comes out, whether there be some new content for the YouTube page, or episodes get announced, or anything new, podcast comes out, something comes out, I don't know, if anything comes out with big news or anything that comes out during the hiatus, or of course we get episodes coming out, I will be here to report. But as of right now, I'm putting my show on hiatus until we come back for new episodes of The Loud House and the Casagrandes. So if you have any questions about the podcast or want to discuss the podcast with me, you can contact me over at Exciting Clips on Twitter, or at the podcast's Twitter, Casagrande Chats. And we'll see you all next time on Casagrande Chats.